A lot of people experience this, but don't always have the language for it. An opportunity shows up, a connection makes sense, everything is right there, but it never even gets a chance to develop. Not because it lacks value, but because somebody in the middle decided it wasn't worth passing along. Clear Visions is about that space, the space between access and understanding, the space where opportunities either move forward or get stopped before they even start. This series explores why people struggle to connect others effectively, how gatekeeping, ego, and lack of awareness disrupt opportunity, and the difference between holding the door and becoming the reason it stays closed. Because sometimes it's not about the opportunity, it's about who controls the access to it. Every day, opportunities are missed, not because they aren't valuable, but because people fail to recognize the connection. This series is about understanding alignment, bridging gaps, and learning how to connect the dots. Because sometimes the opportunity isn't the problem, the awareness is. This is Clear Visions, the Connecting the Dots series, hosted by your favorite neighbor, Mr. LP. There's a difference between protecting a space and controlling who gets access to it, and a lot of people don't know the difference. Welcome back to Clear Visions. You ever notice how some opportunities don't fall through because they weren't good? They fall through because somebody in the middle decided it wasn't worth passing along? Not because it lacked value, not because it didn't make sense, but because somebody made a judgment call based on who was attached to it. Let's call it what it is, gatekeeping. And I'm not talking about curation. I'm not talking about standards. I'm talking about when access gets blocked because someone doesn't look the part, doesn't have the right title, or doesn't carry the approved credentials. Sometimes the connection gets stopped before it even starts because someone decides you're not qualified enough. And that right there kills more opportunities than lack of talent ever will. I've seen it in media, I've seen it in music, of course, and I've seen it in creative spaces where collaboration is supposed to be the foundation. And instead of people asking, does this make sense or is there an alignment here? The question becomes, who is that person? What have they done? Do they even belong in the room? That's not curation, that's simply control. See, real curation says, I understand the space and I want to make sure what comes through it adds value. Control says, I decide who gets access, whether it makes sense or not. And here's where it gets tricky. Some people think they're protecting relationships, but what they're really doing is hoarding access. If you're in the middle of a connection, your role isn't to be the final decision maker. Your role is to be a bridge. To say, hey, I see something here. Let me connect those dots and let y'all decide what to do with it. That's how ecosystems grow. That's how communities build. That's how real opportunities happen. Because every time you block something prematurely, you're not just stopping that one opportunity. You're stopping everything that could have come from it. The collaboration, the ideals, the relationships, the ripple effect. And most of the time, you'll never even know what you prevented. So here's the shift. Stop looking at credentials as the entry point. Stop looking at alignment as the foundation, because value doesn't always show up with the resume attached. Let's get into misconnections. This is the part of the show where we look at opportunities that should have happened but didn't. Not because they didn't make sense, but because somebody got in the way. Picture this. There's a creative, talented, consistent, putting in all the work. And on the other side, there's a platform, a brand, a room that's actually aligned with what they're bringing to the table. Now in the middle, there's the connector, somebody who knows both sides and somebody who can easily make the introduction. And instead of saying, let me connect y'all and let it play out, they pause, they hesitate, they start asking questions like, are they ready for this? Do they have enough behind them? I don't know if this is even the right look. And just like that, the connection never happens. Not because it lacked alignment, but because someone made a decision based on perception instead of possibility. That's gatekeeping. And here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Sometimes it's not even intentional. Sometimes it's ego. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's somebody trying to protect a relationship without realizing they're actually limiting it. Because if the connections made sense, it's not your job to control the outcome. It's your job to open the door. Now here's what gets lost in all of this. That creative, they missed an opportunity that could have elevated them. That platform, they missed out on a talent that could have added value. And the connector, they lose credibility as someone who can actually move things forward. All because of a decision that didn't need to be made. So when you think about your role, ask yourself this. Are you helping connections happen, or are you quietly deciding which one deserves a chance? That's this week's Misconnections. So let me leave you with this. 1, advocate, don't block. If you can't make it happen, don't kill the opportunity. 2, value over validation. Look at what makes sense, not just what looks official. And 3, build a bridge, not a wall. Your network doesn't shrink when you connect people, it expands. At the end of the day, access is one of the most powerful things you can offer. The question is, are you using it to control the room or to open it up? This is Clear Visions. I'll catch y'all on the final episode of the series, Connect the Dots to the Top. You've been listening to Clear Visions with Mr. LP. This episode was researched, written, produced, recorded, edited, and mixed by me, Mr. LP. Clear Visions is the original production of the MPN Network. For more stories, conversations, and community-focused content, visit the MPN Network and follow us on social media. Thanks for listening. I'm Mr. LP. Be intentional, stay aware, and keep connecting the dots to the top.